What is going on, everybody? Bobby Fi here, flying solo until Sheets gets here. He should be here any second. He's pretty good about being on time. So if we don't hear from him in a couple minutes, I'm going to assume that he's not coming because that's just what happens. He's usually pretty darn good about being on time. Anyway, just got a message from him saying he can't make it. Okay. Okay, guys. Okay, that just changes my whole plans. And I wish that he didn't text me. He literally texted me after I started the live show. All right. But we are going to be live at 11 Eastern for a sweat show. Hopefully we'll have some stuff to talk about. I will talk about a little bit about what I'm doing through this slate. So basically, here's where it is. Okay. LaMelo Ball is my highest owned player. I'm just going to go through my exposures because I had a whole different show planned with Sheets, so I'm totally caught off guard here. I just need to figure out what I'm going to talk about here, okay? Because usually we go through the things, and all Sheets has his plays, and we go through mine, and he asks me my thoughts on 10 players. Anyway, but all right, I'll start off with who I'm the most overweight on, or the highest ownership for me. Killian Hayes, LaMelo Ball are my highest owned. Sasser and Jordan Hawkins is third. Sasser fourth. Halliburton fifth. I'm going to play a ton of Keontae George. I like this kid. He's 3,800 now in the starting lineup for Utah. I think we want to take that shot. I have too much Jabari Walker, which is just like a weird name that's popping up. It's more later value. You can substitute it for Strather. There's a lot, Strother, but we don't have like the ultimate value. And I wanted to get a few spend ups in a few big buy-ins. So that's why I mentioned it. I'm really high on Cam Thomas with no Ben Simmons. I think playing one of Cam Thomas or Dinwiddie is a good idea. I have no care that Olynyk's coming off the bench. I still like Olynyk a lot, but I do want to get more exposure to both Agbaji and especially Keontae George. I'm still going to roll with a little bit of Dyson Daniels, Jaden McDaniels, and then I've got Embiid and Jokic very similarly owned. Lots of exposure, 25% of Kuzma, 25% of Jordan Poole, 25% of Miles Turner. Getting a lot of exposure to that to the Indy game and a lot of exposure to the Charlotte game. So those are the two that I'm most heavily focused on. And my favorite spend ups being Embiid and Jokic. I guess if you don't count LaMelo is my highest owned, but he's 80 whatever 100 today, so he's way too cheap. And then Halliburton would be the other one for me. So those are the main guys that I'm playing as of right now. I did get to 15% of Chet and Wembanyama. There's so many good plays in this slate. So like if you're like, oh, but I can't believe you didn't mention so-and-so, there's just too many good plays. There's no reason you have to like the chalk I think is fairly good today, but there's no reason you have to overly play the chalk if you don't feel comfortable with it. Thoughts on Joker? I just answered that one. I do like Jokic quite a bit tonight. I also like Embiid quite a bit. So I have them paired together mostly on DraftKings. On FanDuel, I basically have the exact same amount of both. Oh no, I have a little more of Embiid than I do of Jokic. And I actually don't even think that's necessarily right. It's just slight preference, very, very close for me. Maybe a little more shot blocking steal upside on FanDuel. So that's what I'm doing over there. Other guys on FanDuel that I didn't get to on DraftKings, Klay Thompson, even though it feels trappy, Chris Paul. I have more Tyus Jones over there, more Kyle Kuzma, more Dinwiddie, more Mikal Bridges, more of both Royce O'Neal and Dorian Finney-Smith, more Jeremy Grant on FanDuel, more Brandon Ingram, and more Valanciunas on FanDuel. And it's just because of the way the other prices and positions worked out. So drop in your thoughts, drop in your questions, ask about game stacks, ask about whatever you want, pick apart what I said, any of which is fine. I just want to make sure that you guys, get the best value out of the next 20 minutes because I don't have a whole lot else to do other than saying who I'm playing right now. We're still waiting on information about Anthony Davis. We're still waiting on information that we may not know about yet. But the Anthony Davis one certainly seems like a big piece. Although when you scroll down, you're looking at the questionables. Anthony Davis is the most significant. Jalen Duren, obviously significant. Although it hasn't worked with Bagley, I would say that, again, playing one of Bagley or Stewart is still probably a good idea. Moving on down the line, I'm looking at who else is standing out for me that maybe I forgot to mention. I think I sort of mentioned everybody. Like, for those of you who are premium members, I put in my current exposures. Nothing's changed from those. that are currently in the premium Discord, and they're going to change a little bit, but that's what I've got for right now. Just waiting on other stuff like starting lineups, and that's pretty much it. You know what I mean? It's a giant slate, but there was a day off, so we don't have that much. Hopefully, knock on wood, whatever it is, late. Too much shocking news late. Hopefully, but we can all. We have no idea. We've seen a lot of things happen, and as of right now, I'm playing as if Anthony Davis is going to play. Obviously, Jokic is probable. Lively is probably going to play. Most of the Q tags I have for the later games, I don't feel that worried about playing. You do have Jimmy Butler as a game time decision, Lou Dort, but I don't even think that even without those guys, it's not like there's must plays, and I don't think those guys are necessarily going to sit. Herb Jones is a big one because that just opens up more of New Orleans. But again, we can't really do anything but speculate these guys are playing until we hear otherwise. Keldon Johnson and Devin Vassell. Well, Devin Vassell's out, but Keldon Johnson game time decision, but he's probable. If he's out, that might open up some stuff. Really not a whole bunch that we know that we're waiting on. Of course, I say that knowing that full well we could be waiting on news that we don't even know that we're waiting on yet. And that's what we got to figure out. So rather than just talk in circles, why don't you guys ask some questions? Why don't you throw out some of what you're doing, and we'll go from there. That's the best way I think we can approach this, because it's 14 games. I'm not going to go through every game again. It'll take an hour. Sheets not being here. I'm going to start. I think I'm going to go and try to find someone else to do the live shows with me, just in case, because and if any of our successful members want to apply for that, please go ahead and write it in the Discord, and feel free to DM me too, because I really like to go over it with people. I hate doing solo shows, especially on 14 game slates. I really think it's like the worst way you can do a show. Sheets is really good at it because he does a really good job with his builds and everything like that. He goes through his whole process, but I don't, you guys know my process. My process is going game by game. I do all of my other research, and then I usually try to find my favorite plays and try to correlate them in the best possible manner. Do I think Julian Strother? Yes, I do, Kenneth Jones, to answer that question. I am playing a little bit of Strother right now. I don't love that we're playing these guys on 14 game slates, but I think there's some room for upside there. And that game, I don't want to say it's going to, get ugly or anything like that. I mean, it should be competitive with Golden State and Denver, but there's certainly a lot of ways Strother can get on the court in that one. So I'm okay with that one. Sam Stu, what's up, buddy? Do I like Porter Jr., Gordon stack? Any thoughts on why would you play? Wait, so Porter Jr., you mean Michael Porter Jr. and Gordon stack? I don't really understand what that means. Whenever you're playing Michael Porter Jr. or Aaron Gordon, you're definitely not trying to play them together. If you end up playing them together, so be it. But on a 14 gamer, you're not trying to play Gordon and Porter Jr. together. I just think that's like a flaw. Can they both get there? Sure. Are they cutting into each other's upside? Absolutely. They massacre each other's upside. They can both get there again, but no, I'm not trying to stack those guys together. I am playing Jordan Poole, as I mentioned before, at 25%. So we'll be significantly above the field on Jordan Poole. Do I think a spend up Embiid Jokic is a must in small field or a balanced build viable? That's a great question, Scott. So I think you can build a semi-balanced-ish build. Like, honestly, if I'm playing single entry or smaller stuff today, I would be leaning a little bit more towards the LaMelo Halliburton spend ups, and then using like the Jordan Hawkins, Keontae George, or Marcus Sasser type of stuff. I do think guard and center are pretty much exclusively what I'm using in the utility. I might end up with one or two lineups that don't have a guard or center, but it's mostly going to be guard or center for me in the utility spot today, just the way it goes. But yeah, so to answer the question, Scott, I think you definitely can play those guys, and I think either option is viable because of the Keontae George value, Jordan Hawkins, Marcus Sasser. But I think you're also in a pretty good spot playing LaMelo and Halliburton, and then using the value around that. I think it's totally reasonable. 3 Wizards and running it back with Hayward. Can Wizards keep it close? The Wizards, sure. I mean, the game is what? It's not like a big spread between that game, but like they're both bad teams. Nothing would surprise me if anybody blows each other out there. It's a 2-point spread for Charlotte at home. That's basically telling you they think the Wizards are a better team, which I don't even know how that's possible. I guess without Rozier, maybe that's what they think. But I have no problem with that. I think Hayward is fine. I don't have Hayward as much of a priority on DraftKings as maybe some others do, but I think he's totally legitimately a solid play. I just think I'd rather play LaMelo Ball in my Jordan Poole and Kuzma stacks personally. I also will include Gafford from the Wizards side. All right, that sounds good, Scott. I'm glad that helped you out a little bit, because I think that's sort of the right way to go. If you're building single entry or even like cash-ish lineups, I think I still like the Halliburton, LaMelo, Hawkins start, and then you can throw either Sasser or Agbaji, or you use whichever one of the guys in the utility. And I think that's sort of like a general nice, get you a medium build, and you've got room to, enough to spend a little bit at the forward spots. The power forward is obviously much stronger than small forward today, although small forward is a little bit better than it was because Royce O'Neal and again, plays I prefer more on DraftKings. Small forward is kind of miserable, to be honest with you. I'm going to end up with a lot more Agbaji than maybe the field is going to because of that. 3,100 is tempting. I think that Jay Crowder is being overprojected, but I'm still playing him some at 3,900 just because we don't have that many players in that price range. It allows me to get 3 spend up. So that's a lot of what I'm doing tonight. Guys, well, there's so many of you in here. Please hit the like button. We appreciate that. Drop in any QQs that you have and let us know. Look, what else do you want to talk about for the next, 10 minutes or so? Also, a reminder: you can join us with a 25% off first month promo code BobbyFiNBA. We're changing our pricing soon, so I'm telling you guys, you might want to get in as soon as possible because we are currently selling some packages that include all of our projections, sheets, goldies, all of my plays, Rody's playbook for football, baseball, etc. And we're charging less than SaberSim is directly. We don't want to be undercutting our partner. So we're going to end up evening those out. But I would suggest right now, until we do, which is probably going to be tomorrow, you guys take advantage of that one as soon as possible. Olynyk, a priority over Agbaji, George on FanDuel. So I don't think about it like that. It's a very strange way to look at it. I don't look at shooting guards versus power forwards as being a priority over there. So I have all of those guys. I don't have Agbaji as a priority. I do have Keontae George as a priority on FanDuel, and I do have Olynyk still as a priority. Now, priority, because it's such a big slate, only means like 20% or more that I'm willing to allocate to that player. But I think Olynyk is still a good play. I do think there's more volatility now with it, but I also think you're going to get slightly lower ownership. Probably not on FanDuel, though. He's probably going to still be pretty owned on FanDuel. Great matchup for him, too. No, it's kind of being a slow game. How do I feel about Kennard? He seems to be trending up. Yeah, I think that I'm on board with it. The problem I have with it, here's what you think about when you think about a play like Kennard, okay? Am I really playing Kennard over Jordan Hawkins with all the usage they need on New Orleans? No. Okay. Then you have the automatic point guards. Pretty much all of my lineups are going to have at least 2 of these, if not more. Keontae George, Marcus Sasser, LaMelo Ball, Cam Thomas, Spencer Dinwiddie, Killian Hayes, Malcolm Brogdon. I'm looking at who else I have here. And Killian. I already mentioned Killian Hayes. Yes, that's 8 guys that I have to have at least 2 of. So where am I going to put Kennard? If he was small forward eligible on DraftKings, I would play him. But I just don't have enough room to get to him. Am I really going to play him over Jordan Hawkins? I don't think that's the right thing to do. Can it work? Sure. In a vacuum, it's a totally fine price. He's trending up. I think he's being under projected, but he's shooting guard only eligible. Like, where are you finding room for him? For shooting guard, those are going to be like Cam Thomas, Spencer Dinwiddie, Jordan Hawkins spots pretty much for me. You also have, you can use Brogdon at shooting guard as well. So that's the only issue I have. I do have him. I do think he's a better play than he looks like, but yeah. So Washington, Charlotte is like, to answer your question, Jolly's question. Yeah, that's my Washington, Charlotte, Utah, Indiana are the most exposure I have to any players. And it sucks that they're the first game on a 14-game slate. It is nice that it's after a break. They're island games with the exception of 2 teams. By the way, Jamal Murray looks like he's out till December at least. Too bad for him. Those injuries really they add up, man. All right. I like the Washington, Charlotte. I like the Utah, Indy. I like just because of the usage. I like just hoping the game stays close in Minnesota and playing like Jaden McDaniels or Naz Reid, and on the other side playing like Ingram, Valanciunas, Hawkins, some combination of 2 of 3 of those guys. Maybe include a little Dyson Daniels into the mix. That's sort of the way that I would stack that one, even though it's a low total, not great game environment and everything. We have such concentrated usage with no McCollum and no Zion. I think you have to try to attack it and just hope it stays close. At the same time, I definitely have a fear that it won't stay close, that game. It does worry me quite a bit. And Anthony Davis being a big piece of news is obviously the case. But I'm telling you right now that either way, but especially if he's out, that game becomes like a great stack, because then you get to play Christian Wood and Şengün on the other side, and you can also already play Fred VanVleet, who I think is a really awesome underrated play that no one's really talked about, and you can throw LeBron in the mix. So kind of a fun Lakers stack if Anthony Davis is out. We're just not going to know that in time. No problem, Ken. Happy. Who would I recommend in center in that game? I don't think you have to use a center. It's Gafford or Mark Williams. It's only one game. That's it. Gafford, then Mark Williams. Both of them I'm playing, so that's the way it goes. Gafford is the value play, and I think Mark Williams is your low-owned tournament dart. Yeah, it depends on the rest of your lineup. It's really hard to answer questions that are so vague. You know what I mean? It's a very specific question. There's only 2 centers to consider. But what does the rest of your build look like? You know what I mean? I don't know what kind of stack you're making. So if you ask me to pick the center, then I'm already picking part of the stack. So I have no idea what else you're doing with the lineup. So it's just really hard for me to figure out how to answer that one, Jolly. But I would love to try to do a little better, but that's the best I can do. All right, what else do we have here, guys? Looks like the questions are drying up a little bit. Keep firing them. Please click and smash the like button. We want to keep doing these videos for free. We got a bunch of you guys tuning in. We really appreciate it. In order for us to do so, we need you guys to keep liking the videos so we can at least justify why we're not just doing this for our premium members. Because if we were doing it with our premium members, we could be showing you all the builds and talking about different things. Maybe this works here, maybe this works there. It actually would make it probably a better video, but we want to include more people. So please like the videos and make sure you're subscribed and make sure you're a part of the best Discord in the biz. I'm going to send an invite in here just right now. And we're going to pop this off. We're also adding some new things. We got some new team members coming aboard in the new year. It's going to be a fun time in True DFS. So glad to have you guys aboard for all of that. All right, what else do we have? Anything else I can answer before I get out of here and finish my builds on this monster slate? Usually I feel really good on these big slates. I'll be honest with you guys. Feel a little shaky. Feel a little bit like I don't love my lineups as much as I should. So I'm going to try to improve them after we get off here. Thank you, Jolly, for hitting the like button. I hope everybody else will as well, because we've done a lot of free content over the years. We love doing it. We love the back and forth outside of the occasional troll here and there. We really love it. And we'd love it if you guys, give us a reason to keep doing that without us having to go to everything premium. So please do click that like button and ask any question. I will answer anything that you guys want to throw out there. So if there's nothing else, I am going to get out of here and finish my build and say good luck. I will be in the premium Discord channel. Try and tag me and try not to do it 5 minutes before lock. Try to do it with a little bit of time so I have a chance to actually answer. But I have it open always with me. I think I've hit every question so far that's been asked me this year except for one, which was after lock. So I'm going to try to keep making that happen as best I can. And for you premium members, we'll keep making some money off that, because some of these late swaps have literally made me all the money this year. So I'm looking forward to keeping that going and hopefully helping you guys do the same. Good luck to everybody. Reminder to hit the like button before you get out of here. And I'll give it 30 seconds before I go. But if nothing else, guys, I am going to say I'm out of here, and good luck. Thank you guys as always. You guys are the best, and we'll see you guys at the top of the leaderboards in the Discord channel and all over the True DFS site when you win $100,000. Good luck, everybody.